times, that thing that is non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. We can make all the money. We can lose that money. We can make it again. Can't make back time. We can only lose it.
All right, welcome to the Aussie Ambitions podcast. I've got a really interesting guest here. We've had a little bit of fun so far, and we had to just press record because there was so much going on. Our guest is John Nayler. How are you, John?
I'm going extremely well, Scott.
All right. So we've got you on the wide cam here. I just wanted to introduce you as somebody that I met early in the morning. We were out and happened to be the same spots doing similar things, riding an e-foil. So this is this electronic surfboard. And John runs a company called eCentral, and he can tell us a bit about that. But yeah, I just wanted to get a little bit of a taste on his life hacks and some of his experience. So, John, over to you. Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Oh, okay. Well, where do we start? So, born and raised in the Brisbane Western suburbs, and by hook or by crook, and really just by accident, ended up doing an IT degree back in, that started in 87, graduated with an applied science degree, but just fell into doing sort of more people side of computing. And that's where I sort of hung out for about 13 years until the internet turned up. And at that point, it was like, wow, look at this thing, and to be on a big X terminal up at the QT watching a photo of the University of Hawaii come down on the screen like this. And it's just going, oh, that's life-changing. That's what we've all been waiting for. Yeah. I so want to write software for that.
Right.
And the rest is history.
Okay. So software, when I met you, you were telling me a bit about some of the many aspects the company does, but SEO is one of the things that you guys have a great understanding of. Is that right?
Yeah. And it's just come through the 20 odd years or 22 years almost of history for the business. So, back then it was like pretty much anybody could hack together a bit of a website if they applied themselves and, got the Netscape browser up and you just sort of, as I said, I just fell in love with the platform, thinking, I can write software, I can write websites, and those, distributable, throughout the world. Software is no longer constrained by the four walls of a building and the people who operate those computers. Software now has a global reach.
Yeah.
And along the way, SEO just became this thing where you just learnt skills.
Yeah.
You just learnt skills.
Yeah. Well, this would be good. I think, obviously, this is the Ambitions podcast, and we got people listening in that are, again, entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, people that are looking to get from point A to point B, try something new. So with this whole SEO, is it something that obviously there's a bit of a negative stereotype? A lot of people have an impression of what SEO is, and do you think it's well understood by your clients?
Look, it's gone through trials and tribulations over the years. But the thing is that we've all had those phone calls from overseas, and they're just harassing, and they're just like, we want to do your SEO, and you just hang up on them, don't you? So one thing we've learned, is it's pointless trying to sell SEO. It's pointless trying to reach out to people because the door just slams in your face, the phone hangs up. Actually, it's never been that rude, but people just don't dial in at all. But the truth of the matter, the fact is that, and we've got metrics around some of our clients where we measure, say, the amount of business that comes in from ads and the amount of business that comes in from search engine optimization. And we can prove absolutely positively that we come in at 1/3, 1/4, the price of a comparable campaign done in ads.
Okay.
That's significant.
Oh, for sure. I think maybe that we can put that out there for people so if anybody running a business, you probably need some help getting the word out, right? So just basic level, you probably have a website. You need to get your message if it's a campaign or just your main services out there. So people go down either paid ads or they go for like the more organic, right? Would you get ranking higher in Google?
Yeah.
Is there more to SEO than just the Google picture? Does it go beyond Google?
Oh, no. Well, that life is Google. I mean, we had that recent scare with the threat from Google to leave the country, but thankfully that didn't happen. I mean, my whole business flashed before my eyes. That was really quite scary. But no, Google's 90+% of the traffic.
Yep.
And funny enough, and I kind of think about, you think, how's Bing doing their search technology? They're going to recruit Google engineers and doing kind of the same, aren't they? So when we actually did we thought, oh, this Bing thing might be that, Google might leave. We're going to go down the Bing path. Like most people will use that as their preferred search engine. How do we rank? So we went in all our metrics, looked at all our clients across Bing, and we found out we were pretty much on par. So my response then is, if you do what you do for Google, it's probably going to work for Bing. And that's got the majority of the market covered.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I think just the reinforcing that Google has this power, that is a topic that I think worth.
Are they listening now?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I should demo these lights. We actually have the Google Home automation.
Oh, right.
Where you can, voice activation and control things. I won't, just for fear of shutting off something I don't want to, I won't try to give a bad demo. But yeah, it is pretty amazing that the integration of things and all that. In the SEO world, and I guess your whole tech world, is it still about the keywords? Is Google still about the this idea of typing in a couple of keywords and letting the results come at you, or is there more to it in terms of Google's listening to every podcast and is going to rank you accordingly? Do you get that kind of knowledge? Or
yeah, absolutely. Look, there's one really, really big secret that we've discovered about Google, which only goes out through our clients. I wouldn't reveal that to you. And there's even a specific thing that we do to play to that. Yeah. But otherwise, down the next most important thing, which I'm happy to reveal, is that it's really a content game these days. Google is out there looking for good content that answers questions. And what are those questions? Well, Google's showing you, if you type in a keyword, so if you picked out something like podcast studio Gold Coast, it's going to give you a bunch of results and show you where podcast studios are. But more importantly, it's going to tell you other questions people are asking around that space. And it might be, where is a cost-effective podcast studio on the Gold Coast? And so those questions that Google is suggesting that other people have searched for are actually kind of what was used to be called a long tail search. And you really want to be in the job of week in, week out, answering those questions with content.
Yeah, nice.
Does that make sense?
Totally. And I was just thinking about our own experience. Again, the whole idea of doing this podcast is about going through those steps as someone that has started something from absolute scratch, so that others could do the same, and we could kind of share those little pieces of knowledge along the way. And one of the things is, if you Google yourself, Aussie Ambitions podcast, what you realize is it's picking up every of the latest podcasts, like right down to the day. So it's a absolutely fresh crawling of this content.
Yeah.
So just like you might update your website, our website ranks okay, but and depends for which terms, of course.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like that, they're in creating content, not just keywords, but content. It's right up there. So maybe that's a little something that people can explore and maybe share in if this is worked for you. It's just interesting to know what the game is. And is it a little bit about that? Like, it's still changing the rules?
Well, there's a couple of things that we've debunked that and the most notable are those that rates a mention here. And I get on a podcast or a chat or listening to something and there's a question space. So like, I see what you're saying, but what's this about the backlink still being relevant? What's this with the backlink? So what's a backlink anyway? It's a link. This is, they put the word back on it, so it's 2 syllables. It sounds cooler to say. No, it's just a link. So we do very, very little link building.
Yeah.
Now, we've got clients that are top of search and doing extremely well from that work we do for them, even to the point where, like, things, they pop up on a search result, we're just like, whoa, we just never expected that. But then again, we have been beavering away for 3 years for them, going on 4. So, due respect. Now, in that whole time, we've never built a single link to their website. So I say, so those people are out there that are pitching backlinks, and you've got products like SEMrush and stuff like that. They're out there promoting. We're going to do analysis on the backlinks of your competitors and you, and give you directions of where to get more backlinks. I'm going, I'm sorry, that's badly spent money.
Yeah. Well, I think
that's my experience. The other people want to jump on and scream that down. They're welcome to do that, but we're doing extremely well without it.
Well, that's a bit of those life hacks and the professional hacks actually on that, because you don't want to be, in this day and age, you can't be wasting any money. Reinvest it, spend it in different ways, something that's got some positive ROI to it, right? Interesting. Well, yeah, like the world of SEO, I mean, people can look into it for themselves, and but fair to say it should be an important part of any marketing mix. Like, don't neglect it. Is that kind of the general feel, or can some businesses operate on a bit of autopilot?
Look, the main failing, and we'll talk about this off camera. I don't mind going back to it because it's really important. Is that kind of some of our clients are like growing businesses, like 10, 20 staff, or they might be a bit smaller, sort of husband and wife ownership with a couple of guys working for them. What we've encountered around their approach to digital until we come on the scene is that he's doing some Instagram, she's looking after the Facebook, but nothing's actually happening. And even worse so, nothing's happening on the website. And so the big flip over that we do when we start doing what we do week in, week out, is it's website first. Website feeds Google, website entertains potential customers on your website. Those content pieces then get distributed out to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever else you can do to promote them, put them into a newsletter. So it's this content-first strategy, distribute widely, and it could be a podcast where we've done that sort of stuff work for our clients as well. Yeah. Is that content-first sort of strategy in a scheduled and, belligerent manner. We got to do this.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, if you follow the topics of SEO, I mean, there'll be advice and your top 5 things to do and whatever, and a lot of them will say publish regularly and just speak regularly. So I think let's put it out there that people can have a good understanding of it, and then there's a whole next level of efficiency where you're top of the rankings for those certain keywords, and in helping clients just to get my head around this. How many keywords are they trying to master? Are we talking about hundreds, or is it sort of like 5 or 10, just the most important ones for the business?
Oh no, well there's always those ones. Well, look, they're predominantly our work. Our perfect client is some sort of is a trade business, a plumber, an arborist, a pest controller, or something that's got 3, 4, or more guys on the road. They're running a serious business. There's multi-million-dollar turnover,
right?
And for those guys, they're tradies. And when you need a plumber, you're going to Google plumber. You might Google plumber Brisbane. You might Google plumber local near me, which just drives me insane. But anyway, because then Google's got to work out where you are and then present your search results. So you're not helping Google when you do that, by the way, So there's a lot of work around sort of obviously keywords. And then the sort of product ranges that distill down from that. So like plumbers down to hot water systems, down to drainage, sewage problems, toilets, et cetera, so pretty colorless sort of client I've picked out, but it's absolutely true. Yeah. And so keywords, people are going to look for a plumber. It's water in the bathroom, on the bathroom floor, the kitchen's let go, the sink, whatever, something's gone wrong, poo in the backyard, it's like, we need a plumber. A plumber near me. No, not near me, Pick your suburb.
That's good.
Do us a favor.
That's good. Nice and colorful. But look, I mean, it translates to your business, right? So have a think about how that relates to you. And I think it does pay to look beyond your 1 or 2 keywords. There's probably more aspects where leads can come your way. And I think the more you can get those bases covered, then you can manage the leads. Just on the whole data world, I mean, you talk about websites and so on. What's your thoughts about, retaining control? Because the website, everyone's got control of their own website, right? That's still the case.
Yeah.
You can choose where to host it. You can download the data and all that. Are you kind of a big data guy, like data privacy? And I don't know, where do you sit on all this? Is it a concern for the world at large?
You can have to expect. No, what the actual the analytics or the client's privacy? Or?
Yeah, it's basically like if you were going to do a bunch of marketing in the Facebook world, for example, you're essentially feeding a lot of intelligence through that system. And you're hopefully directing traffic back to your website. But a lot of that, they've got like lead generation forms on Facebook. So if you're running a Facebook ad, they might just say, "Oh, would you like to use our
that Facebook world
leads,
oh yeah
Facebook leads?"
That's alien to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well that's maybe more digital ads.
Planet Mars.
LinkedIn does the same. You want to run some ads and things. They've got their lead generation form, which is supposedly perhaps more efficient, or they'll try to pitch it to you. Do you have any concerns about driving traffic to those kind of systems where there's extra people looking at your data, or maybe at a more aggregate level?
No, I'm just, what concerns me about all that more so, look, those guys have picked the pockets anyway. I mean, guys run those big platforms, your Facebooks, your LinkedIn's, or your Google, and they're promoting their form-based inquiry systems. They've already picked the pockets of the clients, and that's even part of this big deal with the media bargaining code, is the news media are supposed to now, under this media bargaining code, somehow get some intelligence about the behaviors of the people using the platforms. And that's where Google have gone, I don't think so. And Facebook, well, they just shut down for a week, didn't they? So yeah, they've got the data. So it's sort of too late to be concerned about that. The bigger concern, to answer your question, is the fact that, particularly for the businesses I look after, they don't want a lead form from some nondescript person that may or may not answer the phone when they call, because we don't answer phones anymore, do we? They want that person on the phone. They want them to ring. So I'm sorry, lead forms for me leave me a bit cold, because anybody with a personality, anyone that's got a growing business, anybody that's got real serious desires about getting ahead, who's got some sales skills, they're going to want to have a conversation with the person that's, seeking their services, because that's the way you convey personality. That's the way you convey a point of difference. A lead form just puts you in with a tribe of other people, So you want to make sure you show that personality every chance you can. Now, for a lot of people that have got poo in the backyard, they want to get onto someone who's going to be there, they feel that they've got some trust in, and it's going to sort that out first time. And that's that level of comfort that comes from a phone call that you're not going to get by just filling in a form. Hey, I got poo in my backyard. What are you going to do? They filled in 4 forms on Facebook, cost people, $20 a lead or whatever, high pages, you name it. And no one's turned up yet. No one's even rang them back.
Yeah, that just reinforces the point that if you are organic listings and, top of Google, it doesn't cost you anything from Google. There's that expertise to get you there. But yeah, once you get into these paid systems, I've heard of it described as almost like perhaps a very short-term strategy. Like you can do it for a while, so that you have some activity, especially if you're just starting out. But longer term, let's just say SEO and having a good position, and however that comes to be, that's a much smarter move.
Yeah, absolutely.
For business.
Well, you're building a business. You want to make sure you're doing a fantastic job, and you're building a database. Most of our clients are going out via email back to their clients on a monthly, quarterly, weekly basis. Just to stay in touch, depending on the client type, and they've got good relationships with their clients. When the next thing goes wrong with the house plumbing wise, they think, oh, we're going to call them.
Yeah, interesting. Just on Google, this product suite they've got Google Maps, they've got a couple other aspects. But does Maps still? I guess that would be more of a local search type scenario. But do you have to get in deep into Google Maps to understand about location-based search, or?
We heavily engineer that. Yeah, we heavily engineer that. In fact, that's my sort of leading advice when I get someone come to me and say, I'm starting a business, having a website. I'm going, no. Get yourself a place marker on Google Maps. Download the Google My Business app, the little blue shop-looking icon. Get that onto your phone. Register yourself as a business on there. Get yourself on the map. And go get yourself 10, 20, 30 reviews. If you've got an existing client base, pick their pockets. If it's barbecue rules and you've got friends and family who believe in what you're doing, get that review from them as well. But ultimately, you just want to become very proactive with reputation building. Because, once again, our evidence around that is that very firmly that Google My Business plays to Google's algorithm. It plays to people's mindset. And what's more, we find fairly typically and regularly is that people are actually better class of people. Not to put anybody down right now, but there's just that that people that read reviews and act on reviews are typically people who have just a high level of respect, and also more likely to write another review. So it becomes a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy as well. My advice to clients when they get to a certain level of reputation on Google Maps is you can quote with confidence. They've read your reviews, and particularly if they've said that, they've already made the decision. They've done their research. They want you, and you get obviously the opportunity to price yourself at a premium.
That's really good. I'm glad we covered that because I think a lot of people get intimidated or.
Oh yeah, I see you nodding your head there away. So like I see the.
Yeah,
I see the.
For sure. Like, I mean, again, now people could look back and say, well, let's check the Aussie Ambitions map listing. And I'm thinking, I don't know, it depends, like it depends, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can't wait to review this. It'd be like, 3 stars, no green room, no stash. It's like, what's the Joe Rogan coming over? He was smoking cigars. I don't see any cigars. He was like, we
got to activate the hospitality button over here. And then swarm, everything comes in.
Well, if we're going to judge it on the green room and the lack of stash and the lack of cigars, I'm not saying for the after party, Scott.
Hey, we have lasers and we have a smoke machine, so you're getting that on the exit. There's no doubt.
That's very GC.
Yeah. Doof. We need some beats, but Look, I mean, this is a little techie lead off, but I mean, ultimately, it's good to get. Right from the expert, right from the source. Yeah. All this stuff, like if I go back to when I met you, which was only a couple of weeks ago, I basically picture this. This is a guy that's 6 a.m. He's sitting in a lawn chair. He looks pretty content. Kind of got some business persona. I couldn't quite place it, but you looked like you were organized, and he had a laptop. Looked like a full battery, full charge. So he's obviously prepared. And I'm thinking, what is the deal? And I'm ready, like I'm just barely awake, trying to get ready for my little, e-surfing lesson there. And and this is kind of laptop. So, hey, how you going? So what's that about? What's the morning routine for you with a laptop at the side of the water?
Look, I'm an early riser.
Yeah.
And that comes. No, it's just always pretty much been the case. Well, certainly since back in the day, and I'm sure we'll get around to talking about my life on a boat, but there's a genuine lack of sleep because living on a boat, every little sound or something is like, oh, what was that? Was that the mast coming down? Was that the anchor dragging? So there's always that sensitivity that you develop as a guy, someone that lives on a boat, and you're the skipper. You're responsible for this thing's your home, and there's all sorts of perils out there to get you. So you're a light sleeper. But no, I've doubled down on that. In the past sort of 3 or 4 years, as I've rebooted the business, I've come to appreciate that actually that insomnia, some people would call it, actually becomes a bit of an asset because you do rise early. You do get up, and if you talk to anyone that's in the motivational game or business coaching game, there's like, well, where do you get an extra hour in your day? It's like at the start. You want your Tony Robbins hour of power. It's like, you want to get up and just get yourself dialed in. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Are you like always plugged in, given that you're running your own company, a company that's well established? Are you, as a business owner, you're always having to like just keep an eye on things, whether it's just checking email, or are you more in the project world where you just, or like, do you have a dashboard?
No. Look, there's my email's my inbox.
Yeah.
Which is 5-hour work week type stuff is a really heavily filter and make sure that you're only getting important stuff in your inbox. So that works well for me. And but otherwise, I'm always there for my clients. We've got a retained clientele of 5, 6, 7 at the moment, I think. And so they email me, they're going to get a response.
Yeah, nice.
But for the most part, everything's programmed well out. So those emails are actually relatively infrequent, so I get to then just sort of poke my nose into the business. Got a great team behind me that do plenty of stuff. That's it. We're programmed well out. So we're, the trajectory for like our web development path for our clients, we know where we're going with in terms of speed improvements or SEO improvements or technical software improvements or client activity type stuff. So we're well dialed out in that. And a lot of our clients, we've got to that level of trust, I guess, where they're kind of like, yeah, look, John, just keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing, okay? And it's up. And there's quite a bit of latitude in the majority of our clients for us to just get on and do what we do.
Yeah.
And, with integrity, we set out to do that every single day, week, month, year with our clients. We're always reaching into the future, looking at the next thing to do and queuing it.
Yeah. I mean, so you've created this business and this model where, exactly right. So you got these clients that are happy and fulfilled and growing and profitable.
I wouldn't reach that far.
Well, I'll have to read those reviews. But let's say like the 5-hour work week that you described, that hints to, I mean, like, so that's a movement, right? So there's people out there that someone said, like, let's create this 5-hour mark. Is that something you subscribe to? Like you have that, you structure your week so that you I don't know if it's just freeing up your time for other things, or is it really about that?
Yeah, look, actually, it's a bit of a hack, and let's talk about that in terms of the business stuff. Like, it was a revelation. I was getting some business coaching and reading a lot of literature and rereading. Like, I'd read the E-Myth Revisited. I'd read the 5-hour work week. What's that other one that like everyone subscribes to? Was like Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, sure.
So I read those titles like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, but they didn't really make a whole lot of sense. They didn't strike a chord with me. But when I rebooted the business, came back to Brisbane after this sailing life, it's like, actually, shit's getting real, isn't it? It's like, big 5-0's coming up. I better dial it in, So what was really important around that is that, and it wasn't there in any of those books, but something was an epiphany for me, and it started on a piece of A4 in landscape, and I just did an organizational chart. Now, it was me. And what actually that organizational chart was the list of the 50 things that I do. Had a marketing department, had a sales department, had production. I was doing my own quality control, big mistake, doing all my own accounts, telling myself what to do, the general manager, But as I listed all those tasks out, and you actually got down to the detail, and this was coaching I gave to one of my new clients yesterday, and he's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Is that when you stand back and look at that, there's two really important revelations. It's like, because you got a list of 50 things you're doing. You go, whoa, no wonder my life's a mess. No wonder I'm a mess. No wonder I can't do any of these one thing reliably, because it's, your mind's this 50-piece puzzle.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a real revelation for me. So what came about from that? So, and the next thing, and whenever I'm coaching people around this, I say, well, the next thing to do is like, all right, we've done that list, and with this other client, and he said, like, what's your worst thing? And he says, I hate writing blogs. I said, well, you've just engaged this. You've just taken the first step on distancing yourself from as many of these tasks as you possibly can, and retaining the ones you want. Now, no one had ever told me that, but that for me, and that Sunday that I did that, and I don't know where that bit of paper went, but it was a revelation for me. It's a really powerful mover.
That's neat. So there was like some imbalance maybe some time ago where it was just like there were long days and long weeks.
No, they weren't long days. You just wasn't working that hard even then. But no, I just when you try to do 50 different things, and certainly you can't be a professional and amazing at 50 different things. You're just asking too much of yourself. And as you hive off and find amazing people that come to you, or and only get the best people, obviously. But as you start to hive off, say, hey, because people are happy to work on invoice, there's work from home parents, people older and retirement age, and people just starting out, and they get in contact with you and say, oh, have you got something for me to do? And go, oh, you got an ABN? It's like, how do you feel about doing this for me? And they go, oh, I'd love to do that.
I like this.
Well, away you go.
I like
and
this.
And the weight lifted from your shoulders. It's really an epiphany.
Yeah, like I feel that kind of an approach isn't well understood. Like, I mean, you got your normal employee staff, and traditional employment path, and then this whole there's the freelancing. But yeah, like there's this sort of intermediary where you've got some work, but it's more about engaging people that are interested and giving this a chance. How did you go about finding people? Was it just exactly that, looking for freelancers and going from there? Or I'm just trying to provide some guidance for people that know they need to lighten their load and take the 50 things off. But where on earth do you find people to do that? Is it really like the freelancer market as a starting point, or
advice around that? No.
I'm just thinking social media would be one. So you could say,
no. The thing is that we all know people.
Mm-hmm.
We all know people that do things, and we know people that already dabble in certain marketplaces or do have certain skills. So, for instance, my reboot for eCentral included, even a trip across to Scotland at the time as part of a around the world trip, and I went to see a girl that worked for me 8 years ago. She'd probably tell me it was 10. She does the detail. See,
all right.
She's the detail person. I went to her. I said, hey, that WordPress stuff you've been working with, like, I don't really like it, and I don't like it, but the hand coding, if we hand code the stuff, and you can do that, can't you? Yeah. And I appreciate you've got a baby now and a husband. And can I send some work to you?
Yeah.
And show old friend with really good skills and really meticulous accuracy. And says, like, I'm going to send you work in Scotland. Now, she's now a core person of the business. She's moved to Canada. God help her. Why would you ever do that? Really.
Cold.
Kelowna, even. That shit's expensive, man.
Jeez, that was my birth home. That was my birthplace. Born there.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, born in Kelowna, British.
It's like a better Zurich, isn't it?
We got the mountains.
It's nice people.
Got the lake.
Yeah, the lake. See, it's very Zurich, but the people are very nice. Everybody's got pickup.
You got, I think, lodges.
She was in a bus crash, man.
Cabins.
She was in a bus crash.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I had the baby in the trolley, but some pickup turned in front of the bus. Jeez. She's gone down the aisle.
The roads there are, single lane. There's not a lot of room for air.
The main street, it's like 3 lanes each way, I had a Jeep Cherokee. Wow, it's nuts. Got the roof off.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jeez, it sounds like it's developed into quite a metropolis then.
I went to Revelstoke, man.
Again, good solid ski hill. You've been there as well?
Went to Revelstoke.
Okay. All right.
You climbed Eagle Pass Mountain. You been up there?
No, I have not.
That was weird.
Is this a summertime climb or
yeah, it was July. That's summertime over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so an old friend that came sailing with me once upon a time was going, we're going to go do this hike. Are you up to it? I go, oh, man. I hike back home. I was like, well, it's higher than anything in Australia. And shit got weird up there, I tell you.
Yeah.
We ended up on the roof of some fire hut that had been rebuilt by some people illegally. They said, well, we don't care. The fire hut got burnt down. We're going to build it again anyway. So we're up on the roof of that. Old mate's brought along one of those blow-up dinosaur suits. Him and his wife have got twins that are like, cried a little bit to start with. They're 12 months older than the old. And they just hiked up. And they go, you with us, old man? I go, I'll see you at the top. Try and keep up. Anyway, old mate turned up with a drone as well. So next thing you know, dancing on the roof of this hut on the top of Eagle Pass Mountain with the drone doing circuits around us with old mate dancing in his inflatable dinosaur suit. And I've got a baby in arms and it's like,
jeez.
That's Canada, man.
Hey,
it's loose.
Photos or it didn't happen. I mean, videos even.
I got the video.
Yeah. Jeez, behind the scenes. Subscribe to John's Patreon channel and for all that.
And it is amazing. Footage. Like, I know we're off topic right now, but that's where we always aim to take it. Actually.
Hey, look, exploration. You got the Explorer mug. I'm sporting the Captain's mug. You got Explorer.
Okay.
So,
can I keep this? It's like
merch. It's a legitimate strategy. Put the product in the hands of your customers.
Right. No, it's like that moment in The Big Short. Yeah, he's like, can I have one of these mugs?
You just pinch it. Nobody would notice.
Favorite movie of all time. Anyway, what were we talking?
We were getting a little feel for the life hacks.
Talking about the people,
and you found the people. So you went inner circle, like see who you know.
Yeah.
Don't go too far because if you go too far out, you're taking a risk. You gotta. Do you trust this person? But I think from what I took away from it is that you knew people, not in the sense that they were needing employment or anything, but it was just like who can you tap for maybe one task, and maybe that it expands from there. So you don't have to overthink it.
Yeah. But let's do the math on it. So I'm doing 50 things inside 10 hours a week. So the actual incremental amount of minutes in each of those tasks is quite small. So you got to kind of expand it or go find extra clients that want it, group some together. But yeah, you sort of go out and say, you're staying home. Yeah, so Mary Lynn's her name. So her child's now 3, I think. I should know that. She does a whole chunk of the development work. So she's been an understudy to me. And honestly, she's a way ahead of me on a number of things these days, and her work is meticulous. I was like that online. Yeah, it looks all right. Yeah, whereas her stuff is aces.
That's neat. And that goes, I know that before we started, you were starting to think, well, what's our goals for this whole podcast thing? What are we trying to do here? Honestly, you do look at, no pressure to deliver on these goals, but at the end of the day, I know we're here, we look around and it's like, what do you see? We're in Australia, we're on the Gold Coast, and you take a look around and you kind of get a feel that people are perhaps underemployed or they've just got a bit of this theme called the idle capacity, which is people are just a few extra minutes in the day, and what are they doing or what could they do? And that kind of fills an interesting void. So I'm gonna take a little personal challenge on that to see how we do that. And we've done that to some degree. Like we had an audio guy come in, and he was just had a couple extra hours, and they help us do some config, and then that led into lots of other things. So.
Yeah, well, it's kind of one of those things that sort of happened organically, and as you hear the political, and the labour market rattling the cage, sort of saying underemployment, but it's kind of, even within a small, medium, large business, there's a certain amount of gig economy going on, whereas someone's vocation is content writing. And even my lead content writer, he's got two jobs, and he's filling in a full week. And we've got a trajectory where, I'm hoping to fill in his entire week, but we know that in the meantime, he's going to have to color in the blocks, and that's working out for him.
Working out, yeah. And I do think it's healthy to have that kind of a bit of that hustling. It's maybe goes back to the caveman days of trying to like fight, hunt for your own food and be hungry. I think it's what you think about? There's plenty of people, and I mean just so many people out there that are stay at home for some reason, or there's a limitation how much time they can put into work, and they're not people that are ever going to be in the dole queue. They're not ever going to take a benefit. They're always going to want to do meaningful work. That's just their nature. So there's just droves of them out there, and whether they're raising a small child, or whether they're staying home, being a carer, or for whatever other reason, they've got a limit on the amount of time they can put into work per se. They're dying for it, and they're probably, and particularly in the digital space, that is you'd appreciate. But in so many spaces now, there's so many jobs that can be done from home. It's like, so many people have said to me in the past year, it's like, oh, this working from home, it's a revelation. I'll go, welcome to the party. We're doing this for 20 years. Yeah. Oh, that and that's the interesting piece. Like once I got a wind that you've just sort of been, I wouldn't say digital nomad, but it's sort of like you've been able to work from anywhere, sounds like. Yeah. Right? For literally 20 years. And now only 2020 and 2021, people are like, oh, companies are actually supporting this work from home thing. And
well, there's so much. Yeah, well, that's right. Where people have sort of got their head around it now, and corporates are sort of getting. Look, I still love to press the flesh, and I love to have a chat. Clearly, I'm here now, but there's just so much that people just need to do in isolation, work-wise, and you just stand clear of that and let them do their thing. There's a level of trust involved, but they're going to do it for the right price, and they're obligated to make sure the quality is what it should be. So get out of their way, let them do it. And even it goes further than that. Even the digital nomad thing that you just labelled me with, well, I guess I am, But the even one of the hacks that I was telling my content writer yesterday, when we caught up for the first time in a couple of weeks, I said, look, he says, I went down, I've actually I bought myself an ultrabook, and I went down to the waterfront and I did some work down there. It's just I could smell, I could hear the birds. I was looking out over the water towards the islands of Moreton Bay, we're going, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. But I said, now, the hack on that to even go to the next level is that where the work stuff is even, you try and funnel it into your wait time. And you go, well, what are you talking about? I said, well, I've spent, we've all been caught in airports for 2, 3, 6, 12 hours and stuff like that from time to time. It's like that wait time, whether it's waiting for the bus or waiting for the dentist or waiting for a plane. We've all got this time that we can, where we're just otherwise going to watch something mindless on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. No, that's the time you plow into your work. So, well, you know what, that thing I got to do, let's get on top of that. So when I reach my destination, or when I get into the doctor, or whatever it is I'm waiting for my friend to turn up at the coffee shop, if I can get ahead on that now, then I've just freed up a block of time forward, haven't I? Particularly if it's in advance. So, so that's one of the things that I had to say to him just yesterday.
That's pretty neat. Jesus, is that going in your book? Are you going to publish a book on all these little...
I've had it suggested.
Yeah?
I've had it suggested.
Are you a book writing kind of guy?
No, can I get someone else to do that for me? It's like, let me just check that organizational chart. It's like, no, that's still on me at the moment. I'll find someone though, I guarantee.
Well, you're definitely living with some chapters. So you've done a bit of travel. You ended up in Canada, Scotland. You mentioned. What was that world tour? Did you do a bit of around the world?
Look, I've done a few around the world tickets, and don't ask me about the 24 hours in Vegas. But no, I love it.
How was the 24 hours in Vegas?
We haven't got that long.
Pictures?
No, but
no evidence.
It involved shooting guns with former CAI operatives and a prostitute and what else is in there? Business meeting. Well, it's just
no face tattoos. No face tattoos.
some late night tacos. It's like no, I didn't marry. I didn't. I only had $80 stolen off me, but even that story's worth 160, I reckon, easy. So, anyway, so never mind that. We'll do that some other time. It's too good a story to try and encapsulate as quickly as I did. I just didn't do it justice.
Yeah. All right, fill us in on the rest.
But sorry, what was the question? Like the traveling?
I
got the traveling bug a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was.
And is it the ability? Again, people will balance. Some people have to save up money and then they realize, okay, I've got enough to travel. In Australia being far away, it's not that cheap to go too far. But is it because nature of your work that you could travel at the same time? Like, were you on the laptop in these countries, or was that a time of your life where you were not necessarily working?
Oh, no, it's always laptop, always on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically travel. And so there is that sense of basically living your life, but not in one location, right? So you're just exploring and still connected to your work, though.
Yeah. No, there's always that. The work is always there in the back of the mind type thing, and that's what I'm really lucky to have now is a team behind me that do most of the effort. But back in the day, those 50 tasks were, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, got to get, got to learn this new skill or go improve that skill because that's where I'm at, or that's what's needed for the marketplace now. So there was traditionally a lot of pressure to spend a lot of time on the computer. But that's even one of the things, like there's a couple of things I love to debunk in terms of the digital nomad scene, It's like a couple of really good ones. It's like, if you got some content writing gig and you think, oh, well, that's it, I can get way ahead and I can go have this amazing holiday in northern Thailand, back when you could, it's like, is that you'd be up there, but you got this obligation. If you're not ahead on your work and you've got a deadline looming, like bang goes the party mode. You've got an obligation to stay there. Your friends are on scooters going up to a waterfall and setting fire to things. Whatever you do in northern Thailand, you can't go. You've got to stay back and do your work. And so that's a challenge. So there's that sort of thing where, if you truly want to go traveling, actually doing that as a digital nomad, it has got its challenges. And there's some careful planning and obviously a good deal of trust and a really good work ethic about getting ahead on everything. So when that party suddenly happens where it's like, hey, we're going to get in scooters, we're going up to the waterfall and set fire to something. It's like, well, I'm in. You don't want to have to go, I've got to stay here and do this. You don't want to be in that. You've got to get ahead on that sort of stuff.
That's neat. I mean, I can exactly relate to that. And it's maybe just to describe that, because it's especially if you're on this entrepreneurial path, you're basically in charge of your own destiny, right? And so there's no room for losing a client or having one bad experience. Like, you're always wanting to build and keep sustainable, right? You can't take any missteps, but then you're sort of in these amazing destinations and you have to make that call. You're like, am I going out? And can I buy myself another 6-hour window before I finish this project to capture this life experience? And often you have to make that call and you're like, no, I'm going to honor my commitments. And it's a tough one. Like, I guess that's what digital nomads perhaps struggle with. I don't know. I hadn't experienced that until you get a lot of, like, I was on a wave in Bali, last year this time, back when you still could go to Bali. And it was just a random thing. I was going to southern New South Wales in January, and then a mate rang and says, oh, I'm doing that course up in Bali. I'm going to have a bunch of, I'll catch you in Brisbane. I go, hang on, it's, New South Wales is on fire. You're going to Bali. Hang on, change your plans. What seat are you in and what flight you on, So the next day I was on my way to Bali. But then you're out in the waves there and there's all these digital nomads, like, what do you do, mate? The German guy's like, I'm a digital nomad, I coach people on how to have this lifestyle. I'm going, again, welcome to the party, So it particularly up there, it was like the who's who of digital nomads, but they still had obligations as you do it, particularly in the coaching gig where you still got to spend some time on the phone. As I say, my hack around that is make sure you're well in advance on all that sort of stuff. Your clients trust you intrinsically so that if you don't make a call or you want a free day, you're going to get it. And that's really, really important. So, and that comes with a level of getting up early and
getting shit done. Getting well ahead on your task list.
You got time zones. You got all those things.
When that instant party, when someone breaks out the margaritas, it's like, let's have margaritas.
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, I've got to do a call tonight, and it's like no, you when you're and that's like digital nomad is not a holiday. That's probably what you should distill this down to. That's the big line here. Being a digital nomad is not a holiday. You might be in some exotic place, but you still got stuff to do, and you need to make sure that that's for you. You still got your head around those obligations.
Yeah. Wow. And then it's a test of time too. Like I could see someone maybe for tax reasons calling themselves a digital nomad or something like that, and they've been at it for a season. A couple months here and there, and I'm trying to find some work to pay my hut, pay for my hut or my thatched roof local accommodation. 20 years going at it. I mean, you really, I feel like you would have a solid grasp. I mean, it's planning, it's sacrifice, it's the highs. Is there any lows in that? Anything where like you're like, I'm just trying to think where you get.
No. Look, obviously you want to get up to a level, and you're in the marketing trade as well, and there's a lot of people in that trade. Is that there's always that thing where, and it's sort of revelation or something that's sort of been creeping up on me for some time is the realization that no client's forever. No client's forever. There's always going to be some other marketing person or their own inner voice is going to start to gnaw away at what you're doing, and you've got to be prepared always that a client might walk. And so you do have to be aware, and we're talking off camera about like lead gen and stuff like that for the marketing industry. And you've got to be this sort of super relaxed, like, yeah, I've got something. Give me a ring if you need it, because there's no point being overt in marketing. You just, you're going to join the cacophony of other people trying to get that gig or get people's attention around lead gen or SEO or SEM or whatever it might be. You don't want to be that guy, but you do have to have your ear to the ground and be that guy that's like, got the runs on the book. Give me a call if you want a result.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I think that's good. It's a good, healthy mentality approach, because obviously everything in life has a cycle, right? You got,
otherwise you spend 30 hours on the phone a week, getting turn downs, getting hang-ups. That's no fun.
Oh yeah.
Don't we hate that?
Yeah. Oh, you touched on the fun word. There's the F word we like to mention. So your business. So you have a good time with your business. Is there? Do you find yourself like in a position that you might give advice to others? Like, when you feel like you've cooked up this little formula, so you've got a company. It's there's a certain lifestyle that you've got access to. Do you feel like that's something you might want to, just like the German guy on the surfboard, you might coach others to kind of live a similar path, or is this something that just you find to each their own, and you just find your way, whatever works for you?
I don't see it as a complicated thing. I don't know. It's like, hey, it's your life, your lifestyle. Don't ask me how to live it, but I get it. Like, some people struggle with those sorts of decisions in their life. Look, and actually, once again, the client yesterday spoke to me and says, well, maybe you can be my coach. I go, nah, man, I'm your marketing business. We are your marketing business. I don't want to be your coach. You don't want to talk to me all the time for a start. It's like, let's avoid that. Exchange emails, have you in for a laugh, once a month. That'll do me. So forget the obligation. No, that's it. But so it is a question of really doing the sorts of things that I do, and that's not to. But that being said, like, there's definitely around staff and the people who work with me, and certainly those things I've got to relate to clients. Like, another client the other day says, oh, I've got this business that started up with the same name as me in WA. And I was going, oh, we got a trademark? You've got a registered trade name, because they're in the same industry as you, and they've used the same first part of the name as you. You got a trademark in that category? You can then send them a stop it now letter, or better still, just delegate your solicitor to it. And that's gonna really disturb their world. He says, no, I don't have it. So, haven't you done that? So I guess at this age, I'm at that sort of moderate level. I don't have the white beard and the Gandalf look going on. Don't have a staff, so I can't tell you everything. But certainly my age and being in business for 20-something years, I've worked a few things out, I guess. And, you've prodded me about a book. You've now prodded me about coaching others. I go, no, I'm here to relate things from time to time as entertains me. But I don't know. Do you think there's a book of me, Scott?
I think you got this low key, subtle. You got some things cooking, and no need to commit to. This is the Ambitions podcast. It's about finding out where you are today and where you're going, even if it's a small little thing. But yeah, no, it's kind of neat. It's a neat little formula, and I'm looking to add to my own. All right.
I'm kind of feeling like I'm going to leave you cold if I don't leave here unless I've given you some sort of ambition.
Give us all the goods. No, look.
Are you looking for ambition yourself?
No, I think it's about. I think balance is kind of where I'm at with a lot of things, And going back to that surfboard, all these analogies, but
yeah, like balancing. Yeah. You struggle with that balance, man. Struggle.
It's just what are you doing today? You wake up. And I'm a big planner. Like I like to, we're talking like big stuff. And I find that I kind of, in setting those big milestones, then I get drawn closer to it. It's almost like a vacuum. So you set that stretch. Oh yeah, look. And you get sucked in and then you're like, wow, it's almost like a tide, you just kind of get pulled out in a direction.
Yeah,
so
goal setting and that sort of thing. Yeah. Big fan of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Big fan.
Big fan.
Yeah, that's a lot of things. Like when I went from like post-divorce depression to living on a boat was about 3 months. And that 3 months was, someone said, hey, here's NLP. You should listen to this stuff. You're going to get it. And the guy started out saying, you need a big goal. And it wasn't Tony Robbins. It was like some other dude. But I said a big goal, set a date for it. And you know what? Just nailed it.
Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, I'm fascinated. I'm a biologist by study, by origin. So way back. So
you tell people you share that?
A biologist?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not much work in there. Well,
on the Gold Coast, Steve?
Oh man, biology. Well, when it comes to like working of the mind and
skills,
well, yeah, horticultural.
Anyway, your question.
All the skills can be used, transferable skills, but just how the mind works. A lot of this is like psychology and what motivates people, and it's just kind of what gets people going. No reason to overthink it, but what do people have access to? What I don't like is when people just feel like they just don't have a sense of direction. That I have a hard time relating to that, because I feel like someone knows where they are now and they know maybe where they want to go. So just and it could be all sorts of things. Like even yourself now, like do you think more about like leisure and just doing more activities or anything like that? Is there anything that just
Yeah. No, well, let's get down to a core thing. It's like there's a couple of things that are drivers for me, well distilled down and thought about at depth. And that's it. Like, obviously you can tell from my demeanor now, the conversation today, it's like fun's a big part of it. We met learning e-foiling, hydrofoiling, electric foils, it's like loose, 50 plus getting one of those babies. It can be messy and harmful, Anyway, so there's a big orientation towards doing things that are entertaining, Yeah. So you say, John, why don't you write a book? And I'll go, hey, can you make that entertaining for me? Do I have to touch type, 300 pages?
Yeah, really?
Then how about we start with 50, How about you do some coaching? So I don't know. Can you make it fun for me? So there's a big orientation around that. And that's an important factor around the decisions I make on what to do with my time.
Yeah.
Times, that thing that is non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. We can make all the money. We can lose that money. We can make it again. Can't make back time. We can only lose it.
That's interesting.
So there's that. I feel a bit of pressure around that. Like people say, you talk fast, you're always doing lots of things. Well, I've got a lot to do and a limited time to do it because time is non-negotiable. So big focus, therefore, towards lifestyle over, lifestyle balance, over work. And that's just kind of where I am. Yeah. Second thing, as I've gone blank on, let's move on.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, I mean, that's
other key value. Yeah. Other key value, and jump in is spending quality time with great people. So spending quality time with great people. Really enjoying being here today. So and then the people I spend time with, I always want to make sure they're quality people. And then there's a definition for that, even about what quality people are. They might be experts in the field or someone that I've got a deep friendship for or affection for. So quality people could be a range of things.
What's your? I like that you mentioned the people. A lot of the technology gets in the way these days. People are like, let's do a Zoom call and this and that.
Yeah.
Or there's getting together with your mates. That's one thing. But like maybe at the life stage you're at now, and what's your percentage of new people that you meet, like on a regular, like in the business, you probably meet new clients occasionally. You're out there networking.
Yeah, look, networking particularly is unquestionably important in business building. So you've got to spend as much time as you possibly can meeting people. But that could be random.
But fun though. Like you don't want to be grinding out at some kind of event that you're not
Business
into.
Networks International, Big fan, was in that for 2 years, 2 different chapters. And then you got to go to like monthly events and quarterly events and an annual event. The annual event, which was here at the Gold Coast for the whole of Australia, the year I was in it, I was on the door, like opening the door for everyone. It's like, it's like, hello, welcome. And I was like, oh, you're official? No, I'm just the guy getting the door. What's your name? Hello.
That's a little social engineering right there.
Oh, yeah.
Have you met John?
Passed by 100 people in about 10 minutes flat, So,
that's
yeah, there's those sorts of things that you just get on in terms of networking. Am I driven to do that at the moment? A little bit less so. I think it's just sort of, as you age, you sort of get a bit more focused about going, no, they're not my people, I don't really feel the need to go and build relations with that category of people. Smokers, have I got a smoker in my life? Hope not, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you just go, look, I'm non-negotiable on that certain thing. I like that person, but I don't want to spend time with them because they're going to light up, So, sorry, smokers.
Unlucky. Yeah, look, I mean, again, people will be using this as an opportunity to listen in to hear about, the lifestyle of an Aussie kind of self-starter.
Yeah.
It seems like you're kind of almost not reinventing at every turn, but you kind of take what comes at you and you're using that and experiencing it. Like, I feel like you've kind of got this interesting piece where you experience things. So it's not just doing it, I don't know, to tick it off a list or is there an experience that's next on your list? Like something that you just haven't gotten around to doing?
There's a big goal. Are you want an ambition?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here it goes. You ready for this?
You're going to the moon. No, I don't want to spoil it.
No, I'm going to buy a boat in Greece and sail it back to Australia. How's that sound?
Greece.
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
There's some distance there.
Yeah.
There's some torturous seas, danger.
Come on, man.
There's sailing as a skill. Are you a sailor? You've got bars, sailing chops here.
There's culture, there's language, a world of it, pretty much. So
there it is.
Yeah.
You dropped that on us.
Yeah. Yeah, you want some ambition. There you go. That's right. This show's called Aussie Ambitions. I've got an Aussie with an ambition. So, no, but that's a couple of years away. But it's well defined. There's a very active fleet of charter boats in Greece. I've had that experience. So, and those boats are always getting turned over, bought, sold, all the rest of that. So there's a lot of boats come up for sale in Greece. It need to be like a 45-foot catamaran for comfort and space. What else is important around that? And there's no hurry. You're in Greece, man. You've got a boat in Greece. You're not going to sail away from that. You're not going to chuff off to Croatia on the drop of a hat and say, bye, Greece, got to get to Australia. It's like, no, it's going to take 5 years. No, that's not 5 years full time.
Mm-hmm.
You going to wait for all that time? No, we get to have the, summer experience of Greece in the first year, maybe take it at the end over to Croatia or up into that neck of the woods. You get to sail around there, maybe Corsica, Sardinia, Western Mediterranean second year. Leave it, Portugal, something like that. Pull it out of the water, leave it on the hard stand. The sailing across the Atlantic is a couple of weeks, I think.
Wow.
That's all.
And the Aussie passport you can travel everywhere with.
Pretty much.
These days.
Pretty much. But I think there was someone we upset recently, wasn't there?
Yeah, we didn't get into. I'm glad we steered her clear of any political stuff. I mean, again, there's always just this moment in time, right? What are we, March?
Oh, yeah.
2021.
Well, you're a professional in the podcast game. I've done a little bit of video and that sort of thing. You don't want to timestamp stuff. You get a political, you're going to, that statement for me just then was ambiguous enough that I could reply because Australians are always going to be upsetting someone.
Look, I mean,
who's to say that it's any specific country?
Yeah.
Or subgroup or.
I honestly like the strong stance they take on things, and it might seem ridiculous to those that are, I'll be doing this again. Yep, we're going to take on China on this one issue.
There you had to go name names.
We're going to get shadow banned.
C word.
Look, I mean, it's we've got a unique part of the world where...
well, you're getting all serious on me. I was just talking about like making fun of someone and them taking offense because they've popped the collar, It's like, you knew your collar turned up and then all of a sudden they're upset and they want to punch you in the face. It's like, better get out of this bar,
Yeah, well, it's dynamic, let's say. There's always something, topic of the day. It changes pretty quickly. So anyway,
yeah.
Makes it easy to cover off on opinions. What do you think of this?
You might go to the next bar and say something inappropriate to someone else at that bar. You're going to run out of bars someday.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I feel we should try something in our new format. We might give you the honor of doing our new what's the word? It's sort of an integrated format. We might do a few questions just to keep you on your toes.
Okay.
And we might send you on your way. Might just recruit our film coordinator over there.
And what's James going to do? Something useful?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just there pushing buttons the whole show.
He's just giving me the head nod that we're queued up. But we've got a few moments, let's just say, and a bit of a keepsake for you. So this will be this is legacy building stuff.
All right.
Just so you can pass this along to your mates.
Bring it.
All right. So we got a question for you about your ambitions as a younger person. So this is for you, John. John, when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, middle class. I just wanted to be middle class.
Well, you sure it wasn't to grow a mustache or something a bit more like you didn't want to be like a cowboy.
Can you do caterpillar? Can you do caterpillar there? I don't know.
We'll have to try on a different character. So skip to the next question. Let's go for movies. Any movies that are must-sees for you? Like, what's on your highlight reel of movies?
Well, nothing animated. I'm dead against animated. But no, we mentioned earlier, I must have watched Lethal Weapon like 100 times. I think 200 times.
They made more than one.
No, but I watched it 100 times over.
So Lethal Weapon, the first one, the original?
Yeah, Groundhog Day. Actually, I'm really bad for watching movies over and over. Groundhog Day, just fantastic. And maybe what's it? What's the one with Tom Cruise and he's like the future soldier type thing?
Oh yeah,
put on the beach. That was because that sort of deals with reliving the day, And I really get in. And Groundhog Day sort of that same genre, like reliving the day until you get it right.
That was a fantastic movie.
Oh, was it? Tomorrow? Edge of Tomorrow. There we go. Edge of Tomorrow. So that was just awesome because it became this awesome soldier that killed the beast. Whereas what did Bill Murray do? He got the girl. Changed a few tires, bought some insurance, in his final day of that experience, he just, killed it. Yeah, Andy McDowell, that's all right.
That was great. And some like sort of comedic elements to that movie. Like it was just genius and unexpected. Like, I don't know about you, but didn't you find that?
Which one? Groundhog Day?
No, Edge of Tomorrow. Just like the death, how many ways to die, like killed me.
No, well, Bill Murray did the same thing. He stepped in front of trains, he drove cars off into lakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We stole the groundhog one there. It's just...
I think it was the Edge of Tomorrow is a little bit more violent, which is sort of like, it hits you harder. So anyway, not for kids. All right. All right there, Mixmaster. What do we have next on the reel? Oh my God, creep factor 1000. All right. John, tell me about any encounters with wildlife you may have had.
Well, there's this one time in Canada, where, it was up in the highlands.
Not a goose, was it?
No. Actually, no. It happened in California, LA. It's up. The mate said, we'll go stay at the family cabin behind LA, near the snow line. I'm going, snow in LA? Just out of the city?
What?
Like, what do you want, man? And it was that time of year. But we went out, he's like, we'll go chop some logs. It pulled out this big ass chainsaw. And I was like, I want to have a go at that. So we're going out the backyard to have a go at this chainsaw. And on a big log. And I go, what's happened there? What's that poo? Shit, let's call it. He says, and this is like some torn up fur. And it's like, and he said, that's probably bears eating something. I go, there's bears here? And at that point I thought, it's all right, I got the chainsaw. It's a big chainsaw. Bring it on, bear mofo.
Yeah. Jeez, you've survived a bear encounter.
Well, he didn't. Well, he didn't turn up. It's just no. He encountered bear poo and survived.
Still, potential.
Cats on both ends. That's good. All right, cats at 10 paces.
All right, we got a tick on that special effect. We're gonna check for vote this up if you you're loving the cats.
All right.
We might finish on a culinary question.
Is that a cat or a pussy?
Oh
no, donut, man.
Yeah, we've switched off. No, we've switched on to the right one. This is the wrap. This is the people are gonna want to know what Aussies like to eat. So let's just go with your favorite.
Oh, okay. No,
So
that's it. Well,
I'll ask the question. I'll ask the question so it comes across as a nice clean clip. So, John, what is your favorite donut?
well, as much as we know that it's important to wake up in Australia and smell the Vegemite.
Oh, don't tell me there's a Vegemite donut.
Hey, actually, that's a thing, isn't it?
Is it?
What are they? The Vegemite and cheese
Oh, nasty.
rolls from
Sorry, that
Brumbies?
sounds
Yeah, you
disgusting.
got it.
Right?
Yeah,
All right.
well, it's sort of cheesy sweet, but then the Vegemite trail through it to just make it salty. Heat it up. Yeah, that's.
See, this is the good. Trying new formats
Can
like
you
this.
animate that on my head?
I think there's going to be some taste testing in the future episodes.
The cheesy mite scroll on my head right now. Can you make me in a cheesy mite scroll? I don't see cheesy mite. James, where's the cheesy mite scroll filter? I want it.
I think
I want to turn
we might need
into
to
a cheesy mite scroll.
We got to contract some
This
developers
instant,
for that.
I'm going to burst into tears.
We got to contract some developers. It becomes an IT thing, so we won't commit to a timeline, but we'll see if we can get some Aussie as
I got a hole in my head. That is pretty cool, isn't
effects.
it? Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, so there
I'm glad
we go.
I came today.
Yeah, you helped us with some of the teething and trying out our new.
This is the one he did this earlier. This is that one where look at me. It's like John Lennon and John Wayne got together and made a baby. And that's go back to Lethal Weapon. Go back to him, man.
Yeah,
go back to him. That's so Mr. Joshua right there.
Yeah,
Mr. Joshua, Lethal Weapon.
Yeah,
the original bad guy,
locked and loaded. Yeah, I'm evil as. Don't
the
mess.
Spiky blonde hair. He turned up at something else the other way. That ridiculous warship movie too that was on TV the other day. I saw him. I was like, get him away from me.
Yeah,
Steven Seagal. Doesn't he live in Russia now?
Oh, Steven.
Does he live in Russia? I hope so.
Oh, that guy's an enigma. Yeah, he's.
I hope so.
He's omnipresent.
That was a terrible movie. But the bad guy in that movie was the same guy, Mr. Joshua.
Was it?
I don't know what his real name is. I just know him as Mr. Joshua.
We're gonna look that one up. That might be a healthy spot to leave it. bit of trivia out there. John's gonna kick my butt if we get into any kind of trivia.
Yeah, we're going over time here.
So
11 minutes into the race, man.
And let it be known that we had to wrap up to watch this event. Tell us the event that's on so people could be in
Okay. Oh, well, let's timestamp it since you really want it. No, it's America's Cup Race 1. Should be out on the hierarchy golf right now in front of Auckland. And so it's hydrofoiling monohull. So you're a hydrofoiling surfer.
Yep.
You're obliged to have a look at hydrofoiling monohulls. They're doing 40 knots. 40 times by 2, 80 kilometers an hour.
Savage, entertaining, and
they're incredible.
Dangerous.
Well, the wind strength's nothing. And they're out there doing that sort of speed. It just defies the law. It's like, for me, it's like aliens have landed on the front lawn and supermodels are popped out. It's just amazing technology that's just incredibly sexy.
Let's finish on sexy. Let's get into that episode. Thank you very much, John. Thanks for coming. Come back Scott. And do this anytime, all right?
Yeah, absolute pleasure, sir.
Good to have you on. Cheers.